Good morning, guys. This video is long overdue on this topic here. I'm going to go a little bit outside the norm, but I have been getting this question asked by YouTube subscribers and on my Instagram, so I want to address it real quick with you here. So I mentioned on a couple of videos back, I believe, that I have experience with private label. I did that for about 2.5 years. I had a yoga products company. And I got started through that, through, some bigger names in private label back in the day. It was like Scott Volkner, Ryan Moran. There's some other guys, but those were the main ones. From those guys, there was all these other guys popping up, these gurus selling courses on private label and all this stuff, and I constantly was hearing, having already had that experience and going through it all, I was hearing so much crap coming out of these guys' mouths. I'm not pointing out Scott Volkner or Ryan Moran, but I'm pointing out other guys that kind of took advantage of that whole situation. I'd hear stuff like, oh, all you need for a private label business is you just go on Alibaba and you find a product that, you see is selling well, and you put them all on Amazon and do a logo and you're good to go, kind of thing. And the biggest lie of it all was, I was hearing stuff like, oh, the most money you need to start a private label business is $500 to $1,000. And I'm sure some of you are probably laughing right now because you probably heard the same thing. That is complete crap. Private label is very expensive. It's also extremely risky. And if you don't have any experience with online sales or sourcing or, logistics or working with customs, any of that stuff, you are in for a world of pain, seriously. I highly recommend, and this video is basically the difference between private label and doing retail arbitrage, which selling books is the latter. If you are newer to online e-com, especially on Amazon, I highly recommend you do something like sell books to start. The risk up front is so much smaller. Startup costs are very low compared. The access to product is much easier to do, obviously, because you can go to your local retail store and find books or whatever it is, clothing, whatever you are looking to source immediately. Turnover time to see the fruits of your labor is way quicker. For instance, when I was doing private label, sometimes it took up to 75 days just to get product into my hand. Meanwhile, you already put down 30% and then you pay upon, it shipping out. The time of which you give money and then get money back is going to be much quicker doing RA, which there's still lag time with RA as well. But compared to private label, it is so much faster, you guys. Just to give you some perspective too, with my private label business, I was under the assumption that it wouldn't take much money and, everything was great. And actually I started way back when it was much easier to do a private label business. Now it's just insanely difficult. But I quickly realized that the capital amount you needed to invest in was just infinitely higher than what was being told. So obviously at the point I was at, my product was selling actually very well, to the point where I was on page 1 for yoga mats. I was selling up to 60 units a day. And what happened was, I could never get my inventory in check and my replenishments in check. The timing was always off. the amount I ordered was always too small, and I'd always go bigger and bigger. And when I say bigger, my last shipment that I sent in, I ordered $20,000 worth of product, you guys. In just one order, $20,000. And this was like 6 months in. So, you know, there's this vicious cycle that I'm sure a lot of private label people know about. And it's this. One, if you source a shitty product, it's not going to sell and you're stuck with inventory. And then there's the other, if you source a great product and your product sells and there's a lot of need for it, you're going to be stuck in the following. You source a bunch of product, you get it in your hands, it gets on Amazon, it sells through, you advertise, things are going great, and then you go, oh crap, I'm selling through more than I thought I was going to, I need to reorder now. Then you place the reorder, and then you're kind of like, oh good, you know, we're good to go here. And then you realize, again, oh crap, it's going to take 60 to 70 days to get to me. I'm going to run out of inventory by then. So what do? What's the smart thing to do? You raise your price to get your sales velocity down so that your products get there in time to then, you know, replenish your inventory. Well, when you do that, guess what happens? You start to lose rank because you're getting less sales. And then maybe you hit rock bottom and, you know, your sales velocity completely stops again. Then you're like, crap, I should advertise because I want to keep my rank good. So let me just fast forward. So it's all this balancing act of keeping the product rank good, selling, and getting your inventory stocked in time without overbuying per se. You know, for me, you know, I had a really good 6-figure income job, but still $20,000 orders are scary as hell, especially when you're relying on Amazon only. So, you know, it's just this whole cycle of pulling the trigger on these huge reorders, spending money on ads to keep the product up, but not selling too much by the time the product got there, or else, you know, you're going to completely bomb rank because you're out of stock. So it was this huge balancing act, you guys. Anyways, that product did well. I got 4 variations, 4 colors of those. They continue to do well. I went to a second product that complemented the first, just as I was told by everyone how to do that. And that was the best move. And what ended up happening at the end of the day is that it just got too competitive. The margins started to erode. The risk got higher and higher. I was doing larger and larger reorders, you guys, and it was, I mean, to the point where like I wasn't sleeping at night. So I was like, this is not worth it. You know, had this been my own business, own website, my own channel, I would have stuck with it. But, you know, I ended up saying I'm pulling the plug on this. And that's when I went to start doing consulting. I consulted with dozens of Amazon businesses and businesses on and off Amazon, which led me then down the road to RA, doing books. And honestly, this is the best business model I think there is on Amazon right now, other than maybe I've heard about this new print on demand thing where you literally have no costs up front. You just upload designs and you get paid on them. But you know, I'm not a designer. I don't have experience with that, but I do have experience with physical products. And I think that this book thing is huge. I think that RA in general is great if you can scale it, whether it's clothing, books. You know, again, lowest barrier to entry, lowest startup cost. Yes, there's a lot of competition, but it hasn't, you know, affected me whatsoever. The profit is still there. So if you guys are newer on Amazon or you're contemplating where to go and where to start, I really highly recommend that you start doing retail arbitrage for several reasons that I already explained. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe. And I hope to do more. You know, all my other videos are basically on doing bulk books, but I am going to mix it up a little bit because my audience is definitely diverse in that there are cherry pickers interested in bulk. There's bulk guys that are watching my videos, and then there's also people that are doing private label that are interested in moving over to this, and vice versa. So I want to cover it all because I have experience in all of it, and I think I can help a lot of people with that. So I look forward to chatting with you guys, and we will talk soon.